I'm Chris Labonte with Tri-County Outfitters, and today's tech tip is going to be how to install a new sight on your bow. Stay with us. So when picking out a new sight for your bow, you want to go on what you feel most comfortable with. A lot of people like a 5-pin sight, some people like a 3-pin sight, some people like a single pin sight. The sight that I'm going to install on today is a Trophy Ridge React. Trophy Ridge puts out a great product. The sight that I'm going to put on my bow is this React sight. It's got 3 pins coming right up from the bottom. So it kind of gives you the same feel and look of a single pin sight, but it gives you the accuracy of a multi-pin sight. So it's kind of a mix between the two. So the very first thing I'm going to need to do on this bow is I'm going to have to remove my quiver. The quiver is attached typically to the sight, and you're going to have to take off the quiver mount. And the next thing you're going to have to do is take off your quiver mount. Any standard set of Allen wrenches will do. Now, when you look at your sight after you've removed your quiver mount, it's typically held on by 2 Allen set screws, so all you have to do is just remove those 2 screws and your sight is going to come off. So you want to make sure that you're holding on to your sight whenever you take it off. So I like my sight a little bit further away from the bow. I feel that it works better as far as doing your sighting in your sight. You'll see here there's 2 holes on your riser. They're threaded to match the hardware that we just took off. Just put that right on there. Begin threading. And I don't torque it down. I don't torque it down until I have both hardware in there. The reason why it is so that you don't scratch your riser or bend your sight or break something in the process. So leave both of them loose. Go ahead and torque that down like such. Torque down the other hardware. And you have successfully mounted your sight to the bow. Now you still have to sight this in so that your pins have the right windage and elevation. So you're good there. Now we can go ahead and put our quiver mount back on. Very simple. Most sights on the market today have the threaded part. All you have to do is take the existing hardware that you removed from your quiver mount, and you're going to mount that right on. Again, same thing with your sight. You're gonna start your threads, but you're not going to fully torque it in until both screws are in there. Once you have both screws started, go ahead and torque that down. There's my first screw. Then there's my second screw. Just double check my torque. Good there. Good there, good there, good there, and then now you can reattach your quiver. Now remember, you still have to sight in your sight, and what I usually do is I'll start a pre-alignment to kind of get it ballpark, and then I'll go ahead and start shooting the bow, and then you can fine-tune it from there. 10 yards, 20 yards, 30 yards, 40 yards, 50 yards, however far out you want to shoot. On most commercial sights, they'll have your windage and elevation tied into a Allen wrench that's holding tension on the adjustment itself. Some of the sights on the market, like this G5 sight here, has toolless adjustments that you can make. Those are great. Some have a clicking on it. Again, it boils down to personal preference, whichever you prefer. So all you have to do is break the torque on your windage. Now what I'll do is I'll step back and align my cables with my cams, and I'll make my adjustment that way. Once your pins disappear behind your string, then you know you've aligned it. Here, let me show you what I'm talking about. So you can see your fiber optic pins, but as soon as you align your string with your cams and your cables and make that windage adjustment on your sight, you'll see that disappear. So when you first put your sight on, typically it looks like something like this, and then as you move your sight, you'll see those pins disappear behind your string. That lets you know that you're fairly close. I call that the zero-eyes point. So once you have your sight zero-eyed, you want to go ahead and torque that down again. So the first thing I do is I measure out 10 yards and I'll put my first pin, my top pin, on the center of the target in that yellow on a fresh piece of paper. And I'll shoot it. So now you see that I'm shooting a little bit low, so the next thing I want to do is shoot another arrow to make sure my grouping is going to be low. Then I know with confidence that I need to make a sight adjustment. Okay, so both arrows are in the same spot. I know with confidence that I need to make a sight adjustment, an elevation adjustment. So now we're going to go ahead and make our adjustment. Now whether it's a windage adjustment or an elevation adjustment, all you're going to do is take the sight and follow the arrows. So what does that mean, follow the arrows? Well, that means we're shooting low. So what we want to do is bring our sight down. And what that does, if you bring your sight down, it forces you to bring your bow up. So now your groups are going to start going up. Same with your windage adjustment. So if you're shooting to the left, you move your sight to the left, it's going to force you to bring your bow to the right, start making your shots right in there. So let's go ahead and make that adjustment. Now I'm at 10 yards, so I'm going to have to make a pretty aggressive adjustment to make that work. So I'm going to make that aggressive adjustment now, and then we retorque that hardware and we're ready to shoot again. So again, shooting at the same distance away from the target, in this case we're talking 10 yards, we're going to go ahead and shoot 2 arrows and see where our grouping is at now. So now I'm pretty happy with that. I'm a little bit right of the target. I'm ready to step out to 20 yards now and start fine tuning and making those adjustments.